Today, I'm excited to share with you a very interesting penny stock and swing trade opportunity. Now, over the next few weeks, I'm going to be covering this ticker as we anticipate exciting news and updates from the company. First, if you don't mind, smash that like button, click and subscribe if you haven't. Also, turning on those post notifications, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, the ticker is NRSN, NeuroSense Therapeutics, and I want to start the video with the most recent update. Now, what we saw today was the ALS drug candidate showing promise in recent phase 2b trial, and what's really exciting is more milestones to come in 2024. Now, when it comes to ALS, there are treatments on the market, but they don't do much to slow the progression of the disease or improve the quality of life meaningfully enough. Now, the company believes they have a better approach, which is its lead therapeutic candidate, PrimeC. Now, I'm going to try my best to make this as simple and easy to understand. I know most of you are not scientists. There's a lot of complicated terms, but like I said, I think it's very interesting stuff, something definitely worth noting. Now, unlike current treatments available to ALS patients, PrimeC consists of two specific FDA-approved doses, which aim to work synergistically on several ALS targets. Now, essentially, on the top-line result of the two drugs combined showed a 29.2% decline in disease progression and a 13.3% slowing of the loss of respiratory function in NeuroSense phase 2b ALS trial of PrimeC. Okay, so in the per protocol population, an even more impressive outcome of a statistically significant 37.4% decline in disease progression and 17.2% slowing of the loss of respiratory function was witnessed. Now, the trial met its primary endpoint of safety and tolerability with results comparable to the placebo. So this establishes a solid safety profile for PrimeC as the goal is to try and bring the treatment to commercialization. Again, the goal here of the company is to preserve the quality of life, and it has the capacity to significantly positively impact people living with ALS and their families. Now, PrimeC seems to be proving popular with trial patients. NeuroSense said 96% of the people in the trial who completed a 6-month portion chose to receive PrimeC through a 12-month open label extension. And also, people that completed a 18-month trial requested to continue taking PrimeC as well. What we're focused on here is a $3 billion a year market opportunity. Okay, there's been a ton of independent studies. I'll leave all the links in the description. I have previous PRs going back to December, October, where again, it shows PrimeC demonstrates outstanding effect on ALS survival, an initiative iPSC model. Again, all of the things, the slide deck, all of the data will be in the description so that we don't waste 20 or 30 minutes on the video. I know this is not, everyone's field of expertise. But if you want to read more, I completely understand. Just check the description. All the slide decks, information, PR will be available there. Okay, so going back here, I'm focused on the major milestones for 2024. I said I'm going to continue to cover this stock for a few weeks. I think there's going to be some really interesting stuff to come. This year, the company is gearing up for an even more developments and milestones, including results from a strategic collaboration with Biogen, ticker BIIB. Now, with results expected soon, right? This is keywords here. Biogen and NeuroSense are evaluating the impact of PrimeC on neurofilament levels in trial participants. Neurofilament is related to ALS disease progression. Once the results are in, Biogen has the right of first refusal to co-develop and commercialize PrimeC for the treatment of ALS for a limited time. That's something investors may want to keep on their radar. Very important point. Next for PrimeC is phase 3 trial, and if things work out, marketing approval. To see that along, NeuroSense expects to have end of phase 2 meetings with FDA and European medicine agencies in the second quarter of this year. It's also in talks with several big pharma companies focused on CNS therapeutics to explore potential strategic partnerships and business opportunities. So there's a lot here, right? This is a very serious thing, a super, super cool thing to learn about, regardless if you're into science or, again, medicine or not. I think this is super cool. But I know that a lot of people are here for the investing aspect of it. Like I mentioned before, I want to just repeat this multiple times. There's a lot of data here, a lot of very interesting points. Like I mentioned, if we go through the slide deck here, you could see it's 33 pages long. If you want to read more, all of it will be in the description. But now I want to focus on things that are a little bit more pertaining to the actual share price. And that'd be step number one here, which is talking about the financials. Okay. Net income over the year change is up 126%. EPS also up 122% over a 1 year change, which is fantastic. That means the company is actually taking in positive cash flow. Second is that their forecast, right? We always like to look at the projections. What's Wall Street and the analysts saying? On the low end, this is a $3 projection, almost a 200% increase. The median, 525, 424%. And on the high end, a $7.50 price target, which is almost 650% up from where the current price is. Now, again, as we look on FinViz, right, we see that the cap structure is very tight, 11 million OS, 9 million in the float, target price 525, and from the 52-week low, it's up 150%. There's a lot of potential here. Insiders own 33%. That's awesome. And again, just looking through the stock, we're trying to focus on the key metrics here. We don't want massive dilution. We don't want, anything that's going to have a negative impact on the share price, and it doesn't seem like that's the case in any short-term perspective. Okay. We always like to look at shortsqueeze.com. Nothing crazy here. Maybe 200,000 shares currently out short on paper. And then the only other thing here I would show you is their website. Again, you can go and look at, what they have to say, their investors, publications, all of those things here, and more of the recent updates as we follow along over the next few weeks. Now, what I like to focus on is the all-time chart low, and then also a level I believe is attainable to trade at in the near future. So a lot of times when people choose pivot points, whether they're doing fib retracements or they're just looking for key levels, they always go to the all-time high. Now, I'm not saying it won't get there at one point, but I think it's unrealistic to expect the stock to just run 7 points in a day or two, right? I want to look at something where we could take it step by step, level by level, and look at something that is, again, conservative, right? And I think that would be the high of January of 23, which again is 291. So if I look at this range here, right, I don't want to go back 2 or 3 years on the chart. I want to go to 40 cents, and then I want to look at 291 here. Okay, so 291 down, and now we look at the levels in between. Now, pretty much you're going to see 195, 136, 165, and then pretty much support is right at around 75 cents, 94 cents as well. Now that I have an understanding or an idea of the ranges in between from the high to low, I just want to get rid of it. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on this cluster here. Where was the stock closing, right? Even though it went all the way up to 291, it closed 178. The highest close of 2023 on the daily was $2.04. Okay, and then we saw another one, which was 202, and that was pretty much it, right? There was no other closes above $2. So I want to draw a line right there at 204. It also pretty much lines up perfectly with the weekly 200 here, which is a really good sign. This will be my point of significance right here at $2. It's also a psychological value, and I think it's, again, an achievable level that we could see. Now, if you've been following me over the past few days, you know we alerted this just under a dollar. I think it was like 98 cents. So pretty much from 98 cents all the way up. If we just get to this pivot point here, which was the high of December 4th, right, that would be around 54%. Now, if we get to our 2 or 205 price target, that'd be over a double up, 100, 110% give or take. So I think on just a conservative note, on a very, very fair value here at $2, we could easily see 100% plus return in a very realistic time frame. The highest close since July was 129. So I put a box here, 129, and then the highest print since July as well was 150. So between 150 and 130, that is going to be my hot zone. That is what I'm going to have a short-term price target on. After that would pretty much be right up in this section, which again was the high and then the high close of last year. Okay, after that, again, would just be 291. And then once we get there, let's say we get to 291, then all we have to do is adjust, right? So let's assume that it's going to get all the way up there to 291. That's almost 200% upside. Then we would start to zoom out and we'd look at the past trading there, maybe up to, let's see, a close of 330. 450, right? And all these levels just to see again what makes sense. But again, one step at a time here. The stock looks great. Very nice and healthy bounce off 40 cents. Really good support to around 70 cents. And so far, when we look on these macro moving averages, it's really holding well. that's going to get investors and traders excited. They're looking forward. They know that 2024 is going to be huge, especially in the first 2 quarters. So I'm more than excited. Very, very tight in terms of the free circulating float. Only trades a couple 100,000 shares a day. That shows you, again, when it's thinly traded, it can move very aggressively off a little bit of stock. So again, keep it on your radar, ticker NRSN. Definitely a lot of hype, a lot of positivity surrounding the stock. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any interest in biotech stocks. Again, what tickers are you following? I know there are a ton of opportunities in the market every single day. And again, I'm super jacked to be able to cover this for the next few weeks. Again, guys, have a fantastic night. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.